Grace, peace, and blessings from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ. It's Brother Ordained from Restorers of Truth Ministries. I'm back once again with another message, a continuation of the series, starting out right, but ending up wrong. This is part 2. And today, we're going to dive in to another man of God. I'm just trying to adjust this phone real quick. All right. In my vehicle, inside a parking lot. All right. So, that warning sign out of here. All right, so we're gonna dive into this. This individual was a man of God, very strong. His name was Samson. He was a judge over Israel for a specific period of time. And if you read the Bible, you know Samson's story. So we're gonna dive into that. But this series is basically about, an individual being called by God for a specific purpose, but then they turn off the path, whatever it is that leads them off the path. The first part, I'm not sure if you listened to that video, part 1 was about the sin of Jeroboam, how he was called by God and he went into idolatry. And not only that, he led the people who he was ruling over into idolatry. The 10 tribes of Israel, 10 tribes, while Solomon's son Rehoboam was ruling over the other 2. So now we're talking about Samson. So I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but we're going to dive into it right now. Okay, so if you have your Bibles, we're going to start at Judges chapter 14. I'm going to try and not make the video too long, so I'll be skipping verses and I'll try and, touch on more important verses. All right, so Judges chapter 14, starting at verse 1. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. All right, pay attention to this. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. All right, so usually, in Israel, the Lord commanded that the people of Israel shouldn't intermarry with people of other nations, women of other nations, and they shouldn't give their children, to intermarry with their children. The Lord did not want the people of Israel to marry women of other nations, people of other nations, whether it's male or female. Reason being is because the people of the other nations would lead them into idolatry. You see? In this instance, it said that this was of the Lord. Reason being because he actually sought an occasion against the Philistines. So the Lord used this. The Lord is going to use this, Samson intermarrying with a woman of another nation. So the Lord could bring down the Philistines, right? To bring down the Philistines, because the Philistines were ruling over the children of Israel, right? So Samson has been raised up as a judge. But I want you to pay attention and notice something. You're going to notice something about Samson. Samson loved foreign wives, all right? As you're going to see, this is not going to be the first instance, but Samson loved foreign wives that were not of the people of Israel, And in today's days, as we have in Christendom, being a Christian, a follower of Christ, walking with Jesus, the Bible warns about being unequally yoked. All right. So in the Old Testament, the Lord did not want the children of Israel marrying people of other nations because they worship other gods. So you're going to notice something about Samson. This is going to be, there's a root in his heart that's causing him to fall. All right. So we're going to pay attention. We're going to pay attention. I'm going to read verse 5 and 6. Then went Samson down to his father and his mother to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath. And behold, a young lion roared against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid, and he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or his mother what he had done. So Samson just conquered a lion. The Spirit of God came upon him, conquered a lion. So we're gonna skip some verses, right? And we're now going to, all right, we're gonna start at verse 11. All right. Now I want you to pay attention. Now stay with me. I want you to pay attention, and pay attention to the woman that Samson is with. Just pay attention. All right. Stay with me. And it came to pass when they saw him that they brought 30 companions to be with him. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If you can certainly declare it me within 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. But if you cannot declare it me, then shall you give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. All right. And he said unto them, out of the eater came forth meat, out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, all right, the first wife that he married, that he's with, the wife that he's with, entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. Have you called us to take that we have? Is it not so? And Samson's wife wept before him, all right, pay attention, and said, thou dost but hate me, and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it to me. And he said unto her, behold, I have not told it my father nor my mother, until I tell it to thee. And she wept before him the 7 days, while their feast lasted. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. All right. This is like a symbol or a subtle betrayal. All right. Just pay attention. She was plaguing him, coming to him saying, you don't love me, this and that, because you ain't telling me the riddle, just, playing like a sob story. I don't want to use the term like victim. Probably it is a victim mentality, but, sobbing just to get him, just to press him, to tell him the secret riddle. And then she told her people. All right. She told her people. All right. Verse 18, and the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day before the sun went down, what is sweeter than honey, and what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you had not found out my riddle. All right. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them, which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. All right. So now we're gonna skip. So as you notice that his wife got given over to her companion. He slayed the people because they expounded his riddle, but they didn't do it honestly. They pressed his wife, and his wife told him, basically. So now I'm gonna skip down to verse. Let's skip to verse 8. All right, let's go to verse 8. No, sorry. Let's go back. Let's go to verse 4. Chapter 15, verse 4. All right. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and took firebrands, and turned tail to tail, and put a firebrand in the midst between tails. All right. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines, and burnt up both the stocks, and also the standing corn with the vineyards and olives. Then the Philistines said, who has done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. And Samson said unto them, though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. All right. Verse 8. And he smote them hip, thigh with a great slaughter. And he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock Etam. All right. Let's skip down to verse 12 now. And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. All right. And the Samson said unto them, swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. All right. So this is I skipped some verses, but this is Judah. People of Judah, men of Judah came to Samson and said, we want to deliver you to the Philistines, So they bind him, and now they're bringing him to the Philistine. Verse 13, chapter 15, verse 13. And they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, but surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And when he came into Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loose from off his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men there. Now, if you noticed, they're delivering him into the hands of Philistine because of what he did, Samson, if you actually look into it, he has like anger problems, He has anger problems, all right? And, he loves women that are not of Israel, foreign women, strange women, all right? So he did something where he tied foxes, burnt up the Philistines' field, basically causing trouble. And the people of Judah were going to deliver him into the Philistines' hand. He's saying, look what you caused, look what you did. Here, we're just going to give you over to them, all right? But when they were giving it over to him, when he went into their hands, right, as you see right here, he broke loose. He broke loose, and he slayed 1,000 Philistines, all right? The Spirit of God came upon him mightily. He was a mighty man of God, and he just slayed them. Verse 16, and Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps. With the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramoth Lehi. And he was sore athirst, and called on the Lord, and said, thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant. And now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? But God clave an hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereof. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Okay? Wherefore he called the name thereof Enhakkore, which is in Lehi, unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. Okay, so he slayed 1,000 Philistines. All right, the Spirit of God was upon him. So now, pay attention, because we're going to get into some further things with Samson. This is going to lead to his fall now. So pay close attention. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. All right, the first move, sleeping with harlots. There's a verse in the Bible, I believe it's in the Proverbs, where it says, a companion of harlots squanders his wealth. So he loved women. He had a lust problem. Basically, he had a lust problem. He just saw a harlot, he went into her. All right. Verse 2. And it was told that the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither, and they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. All right. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city and the 2 posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of the hill that is before Hebron. Well, verse 4, and it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. All right. Remember, none of these women, not his first wife, not this harlot, and not Delilah, were a part of Israel. They were foreign women. Foreign women. Samson loved strange women, and as written in the law, the Lord had commanded, people of Israel not to intermarry, with foreign women, right? So the first instance, his first wife, it says that this was of the Lord, because he saw an occasion against the Philistines, But now these other women, you got the harlot, and now you got Delilah. This is Samson's doing, you see? So there's something in him, a lust towards these foreign women. Maybe they look more beautiful. You see, we have to be careful. You know, in the Bible, in Proverbs, I can't remember where it says, but I know it's in Proverbs chapter 31, where it talks about the virtuous woman. Near the end of that chapter, it says, you know, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord shall be praised. You know, we cannot always go after beauty. Now, there's nothing wrong with a beautiful woman, you know, beautiful women, you know, but that's not the only thing we should be looking after. You know, they must be a godly woman, you know, a virtuous woman, have a beautiful heart, you know, a meek, quiet, gentle spirit. Nowadays, there's a lot of Jezebels. I'm telling you this truth, man. But Samson, you know, he was drawn to these foreign women. He was drawn to them, and you know, so was you know, Solomon. That's a whole different story. And if the Lord leads, I'll teach on that as well. And you know, perhaps they were beautiful. You know, we men tend to are drawn towards, you know, women's beauty, but that shouldn't be the main factor. It should not be, because you can end up with someone that's beautiful outwardly, but inwardly, bad character. All right. Now, Samson's first wife, the first woman he was with, she technically betrayed him. All right. She gave away the secret to the riddle, you know, because her people was telling her, you know, just go tell your husband, you know, try to get the secret from him, you know, right? All right, but that was his wife. So she didn't really love him, right? So she got the secret and told the riddle to her people. Now let's pay attention now to Delilah, all right? And if you know the story, you know what's going to happen. But if you haven't heard the story, we're going to read this now. Verse 5. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him. Here we go again. Entice him and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And we will give thee, every one of us, 1,100 pieces of silver. All right, for money. Men, watch out for them gold diggers. I'm telling you. Watch out for it, all right? I'm telling you, watch out for them gold diggers. Watch out for it, yo. There's, you know, as you know, there's women out there that will want to date a man, marry a man because of their money, not because of true love. They may look beautiful, you know, you may fall for that beauty, but don't let that beauty blind you. Don't let it blind you, all right? Delilah, you know, her people of the Philistines, that's her people. They just enticed her. They just saying entice him, so we can find out his strength, all right? And they say, yo, we'll pay you. We'll pay you. That's right. Betrayal's coming. So she's going to do this for the money. Verse 6, and Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, where in thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dry, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber, and she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he broke the withs, as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not known. So he ain't telling the truth. He ain't telling the truth. But we're gonna keep reading. There's something that I'm gonna touch on real quick. So verse 10, and Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou bind me fast with new ropes that were never occupied, then shall I be weak and be as other men. Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait, abiding in the chamber, and he brake them off from his arms like a thread. All right. I'm gonna just get to the ending part. She did the same thing again. I mean, he did this. Yeah, she did the same thing again. Asked him, and Samson told her no lie. So I'm gonna get to the finishing part. Right. I'm gonna start at verse 15. And she said unto him, how canst thou say I love thee when thy heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death. So she's pressing him like the same way his first wife, who was taken from him, was pressing him just to get a secret. Listen, be careful Be careful who you share your secret with. If you know you're with a woman that's not trustworthy, there's just something about her. Listen, don't tell her everything. All right? Do not tell her everything. Don't tell her your secret, you know? And this Delilah is also a spirit, all right? And there's women that carry the spirit of Delilah. You want to know the secret to your strength, to your spiritual strength, you know, which comes through prayer. And they'll cause you to stop praying. You'll end up becoming lukewarm. Your spirit will grow weaker, you know. They'll cause distractions. They'll cause you to do other things, you know, rather than prayer. When you want to pray, get into prayer or pray with them, they have no interest, you know. They may make excuses like, you know, let's go do something else. Let's do that later. You know, be careful. All right. These are distractions in order to sap you of your strength, your spiritual strength, the spirit of Delilah. If the Lord leads, I'll do a teaching on that, you know. But I know there's a spirit of Jezebel. Delilah is a spirit as well. All right. So verse 17, that he told her all his heart because she plagued him, right? And said unto her, there has not come a razor upon my head. For I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like other men. When Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she spent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, for he has showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. All right. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times before and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. In other words, he did not even realize the Lord had departed from him. But the Philistines took him, now pay attention, put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in a prison house. The great man Samson, conquering enemies, has now been conquered, and he's now in a prison house grinding, and he's blind. All right, listen, pay attention to the parable. All right, Samson had a lust problem. All right, lust is used, especially in this society, you know, to bring down great men. All right. They, you know, end up sleeping with women, committing fornication, whatever it is, you know, harlotry, end up in relationship with bad women, man. All right. A lot of women, they'll steal your strength, man. If they're not virtuous, they're going to steal your strength. All right. As a man of God, you know, if you're not married yet, God's will is that you be celibate. Keep your seed within you, your strength, man. Because I noticed from experience, as you keep your seed within you, you feel the power of God. You get the Holy Ghost in you, feel the power of God just wax stronger and stronger in you, man. I'm telling you. All right. And doorways be open. The Lord be opening doorways for you and stuff like that. You know, you just feel like your energy level is up. All right. And it will cause, the devil will bring women into your lives, you know, before he brings that godly woman into your life. All right. And if you hook up with the wrong woman, man, the counterfeits, they're looking to steal your strength. All right. They're going to steal your strength, cause you to release your seed, you know, commit sin. And when you keep engaging in the spiritual lust, when you keep engaging in lust, you know, sexual sin, this and that, listen, it will affect your spiritual sight. All right. This is parables now. All right. Samson was brought low. They plucked out his eyes. He can't see. It will affect your spiritual sight. I'm telling you this. It will affect your spiritual sight. You'll start having cloudy dreams. Before, your dreams just be vivid, but then your dreams become a bit cloudy. And then you'll start forgetting dreams. Engaging in a lot of this sexual sin will cloud your spiritual vision. You'll become spiritually blind. Watch out for a lot of these women. Watch out. All right. A lot of these women have brought men down, have brought men of God down, you know, a lot of things, you know. And this is what happened to Samson. All right. This is what happened to Samson. He got brought down. He's in the prison house now. I'm not going to read the end of the story. Because if you read the story, he eventually asked the Lord back for strength, and he, brought down some shrine, some temple building they were in, and killed all the Philistines. But Samson, he was an anointed man of God. He was a judge, all right? He was called by God to be a judge. But he had a problem. He had a lust problem. He loved women of other nations, that did not worship the true God. They worshiped other gods. Their heart was not with him, right? They betrayed him by listening to their own people. And we should definitely take this to heart, There's women out there that are not of God. They may even portray themselves to be of God, but they may listen to other people, like their friends. They may speak against you. They may betray you. They may tell your secrets, because they're talking with other people who they're cool with, people of this world who they're cool with, Their friends who they knew for a long time, their families, and their heart is not really with you. You may be even married to some. Believe me, man. And they'll betray you. So take heed to this, When God calls you, stay on his path. Don't just go looking for any woman, but wait until the Lord brings you that woman he has for you, that he has ordained you to be with. I'm speaking to the men. I'm being a man. I'm a man as well. So wait, because you don't want a counterfeit. You don't want to hook up with the wrong person. And do not go out committing sexual sin, sexual morality, all right? Don't squander your strength. Don't do that, because lust will eventually spiritually blind you. It'll cloud your vision, cloud your night visions, your dreams, You'll be losing your spiritual strength. You become weak, man. You become weak. I'm telling you, you become weak, spiritually weak. But wait on that woman, that virtuous woman that God has for you. I pray, this has touched your heart. I pray that this has helped anyone in anything, if they're wondering about, wives, or this and that, if they're wondering about, their calling. I pray that this touches your heart and this helped you in some way. Like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel. I'll also put up another video. I'll also put another video in this video that you can listen to. It's about the consequences of rebellion, but definitely like this video, share it, and subscribe. And as the Lord leads, I'll make other videos. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you.